Dean Morgan!
Minneapolis.
That's the city you're in, yes.
Where the hell am I? How's everybody doing?
Jeff, I want you to know, before we leave you on stage.
Leave me?
Well, the band's here. The band's here.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
Here you go. Look at that. Somebody brings you coffee. See, that's how you know you've arrived. I asked for coffee, they say, get it yourself.
It's liquor.
That's you. Oh, no. You are experiencing a supernatural convention. The only one we do anywhere that's in an actual theater. Like, we didn't just build this up on the surface. You know, I mean, this existed before we got here. Yeah, and that just opened up today or yesterday. It was closed. It was closed like that, and then they opened it up.
The golden oval of awesomeness back there.
That was my nickname in high school. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeffery Dean Morgan.
Ladies and gentlemen, loud and freaking swaying. God, I miss you guys. Just kind of want them to be behind me all the time, just like walking down the street. Talking to my wife, getting yelled at by my kid, just have Loud and Sway kick right in. How are we? Awesome. Huh?
Nope, what? I didn't get it. Shit.
10-4? I'm 50. Can't hear shit. It's still not helping. Sounds like 10-4 or you are awesome, Jeff. Is this how it's gonna be today? What do you think you're like seeing, I don't know, Richard Pryor and this is cool? I'll come after you. Still talking back there. Somebody give him a mic. No, that means shut up. Whoever's back there 10-4, and if you want to ask a question, you can stand in line and tell me 10-4. Should we just start with questions and not waste any time with my horrible comedy routine? Yes? Let's start with questions. Or not, or I'll just freestyle.
I don't know what they're doing. Okay. Hi, sweetie, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm blessed. Okay, I've been following your career and you've actually made me watch some shows that I really didn't want to watch.
I've done shows I didn't want to do, I get it.
Well, I kind of stopped watching The Good Wife in the second season, then I heard you came and I had to come back and watch it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming back and watching.
Well, everything you're in, I usually try to watch.
Oh, you are blessed.
So I tried to watch Walking Dead and it lasted for a season or two.
Yeah.
Now you're Negan and you're going to make me watch.
I'll maybe make you watch for one episode and then you might be done.
No. If I watched the movie with you and Hilary Swank when you were chasing her around the building.
The Resident.
The Resident.
The Resident, yeah.
If I watch that, I'm pretty sure Negan is not going to scare me.
You have no idea. That was nothing. But continue.
My question is, how long am I going to have to watch Walking Dead?
long he's going to
If
be
you can get past the first episode of season 7 and still want to watch me, you can watch me for a little bit. I'm going to be there for a while. Negan is still alive in the comic books. I want to say in the TV show world, we're like on episode or comic book 100, and it's like 156 in the comic book, and Negan's still alive. So if you do that math, that adds up to at least a few years on The Walking Dead for Negan. Yeah, it's cool. It's awesome. What's up?
Hi. What steps do you generally take when you're preparing for a role?
I guess it depends on the role. Sometimes there's no steps at all because you're just sort of thrown into something last second. If I think too much about something, I do a crappier job. I like to kind of be more spur of the moment. I went through a phase in my acting career where I thought I needed to do a lot of research, and I found that it just kind of bogged my brain down, and I couldn't kind of be free with what I needed to do. But it depends. Like sometimes if you're doing a comic book adaptation, you need to read the graphic novel. If you're doing I did a movie called Texas Killing Fields, and that was based on 2 real cops. And so I hung out with them and drove around in the back of a cop car in LA and visited some murders, and that was too much. I didn't need to do that. I could have faked that. But it depends. It just depends. Everything's a little bit different.
Thank you.
Did that answer that? Okay. 10-4.
I think that's what you're saying.
Hello again.
Hi.
So, earlier I asked you about The Walking Dead. I'd like to ask you about your experiences on The Good Wife. I'd like you to confirm, because you know everything on that read on the internet is true. And I read that you weren't happy with the way the series ended.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I said that kind of off the record to a guy, and then he printed it. Needless to say, Good Wife people were thrilled that I had an opinion that wasn't positive. I didn't love the ending.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, I didn't love it. But as that article stated, that was me kind of being selfish with a character that, you know, I wanted to end with some sort of dignity, or I don't know, a closing of one of the many storylines that they opened up and it never closed. So.
Did they have anything about where the storyline was going to go that they wanted to do?
No, nothing. I did that show, 1, because it's been such a good show for so many years. 2, Julianne is a good friend of mine, and 3, it was in New York, and I spent so much time away from my family. It was an opportunity to be home. I'm glad I did it. I loved working with Julianne. She was awesome, and the whole cast was awesome. But I was very confused by the ending of this show. I just was, you know, mostly because I'm an asshole and wanted it to be about me, and it wasn't, which is incredible.
I can tell you I didn't like the ending either.
Well, I just would have liked to have seen something kind of come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
In one way or another.
Agreed.
I thought that just opened up more questions and expected the audience just to walk away skipping, and that's a hard deal. Sorry, Robert Michelle King. He said it again. Call his agents. Ungrateful bastard. Such is life. Hi.
Hi. I was wondering, with acting, you often have to do a lot of things where you're like talking to people who aren't there, or like doing things that aren't necessarily the same correlation on the camera. And I was wondering if ever you are sitting there thinking about it, that out of context you look ridiculous. And I was wondering if there was any time that you like really.
Every second of every day. Right now. It's kind of just what we do. I don't know. I've never done like a movie like with it's all green screen where like a big dinosaur's going to attack. Mostly because I think I would just giggle my ass off. I don't know if I can keep a straight face that long, but I don't know. If you do one of those bad shows we were talking about earlier, you feel embarrassed constantly, like, oh, I can't believe I did this. Oh, just money, just need money. But hopefully most of the stuff that I do, I don't get embarrassed about. At least at this point in my life. I did an episode of Star Trek a long time ago. Yeah, whatever. It was all prosthetics and it was miserable and there's no way in 20 million years you'd ever know it was me. Ever, ever, ever. And I wanted to quit acting. After the 1 week on that show, being in prosthetics, being a snake reptilian boy, I was like, I am done. And then like 2 weeks later, I got Supernatural. Thank God I didn't quit. That was incredibly embarrassing and crappy. Does that answer anything, or am I just going off on tangents? Sweet.
Hi.
Hi.
My question was, which role did you like better, playing Denny on Grey's Anatomy or John?
Gotta remember where I am. They were both at the same time and they were both super awesome because they were vastly different. And it was kind of the beginning of me having a career after being an actor for 25 years. I mean, understand that was, 12 years ago now, that both shows happened simultaneously for me. So to pick one or the other is crazy. They were both awesome because, for one, I got to show that I could act a little bit because it was two different roles. John and Danny are completely different things. And I just felt so lucky to be working at all. You know, I spent, like I said, 25 years of not being able to pay rent. You know, it was a struggle to keep dog food in the bowl, much less food on my plate. So, you know, it was just, I was really lucky to be on two such awesome shows at the same time. It was just a pure luck, I think, you know? So I can't pick one out of those two.
Well, I loved you on both of them. So.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is a big ass stage.
Hello.
Hi.
What is your favorite convention experience that you've had?
Right now, that question. You know, I think my favorite one was the Vegas thing because it was my first Supernatural convention ever. And it was just so cool to kind of meet everybody and these guys. I mean, I met a whole group of like the Supernatural world that I'd never met before because I was in like season 1 and 2. So all these guys have been part of the show for 10 years. I got to meet for the first time. And that was awesome. And they're all such cool folks. It's a big, huge family. So to kind of come in and meet everybody and be Daddy Winchester for a couple days again. So that was probably my favorite. I've done it. This is my third now. And I wish I could do more because it really is. It's so great seeing everybody, and you know, everybody knows how I feel about the two idiots that are in the show. So to hang out with them, you know, is, you know, we were out all night last night playing bocce ball and drinking beer and all the stuff I said I wouldn't do because I had to work all day today. We did. It was great. And so I think that my favorite experience is probably the first one because I felt like, oh, this is what I've been missing for the last 10 years? What an idiot I am. 10-4?
Thank
you very much.
Hello, darling.
What is up?
This question is actually on behalf of my best friend, Linda. She came up with the idea.
Where the hell is Linda?
Linda, wave. Okay, so
I got your back, Linda.
we understand that the writers are the ones that come up with what you say and what you do, but from your own personal opinion, and I don't know if you have watched any of the past 11 episodes or 11 seasons, what would John's advice be to the boys with everything they've gone through now if he could have a conversation with them?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really seen the show. Every now and again I'll catch a show and be confused about who these people are. I mean, I just found out last night that Samantha's back on the show. I was like, what? I saw her ass burn on the ceiling. There's no way. I guess my advice is, yeah, anybody can come back. love you too. I like that dress. You know what I'm gonna say right back there, right? That's exactly right. Interactive experience.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So I know you just said that you don't watch a show very often, or you didn't.
I know, I'm horrible.
So
I've got it all on DVD, and someday I'll watch them all.
Okay. But so hopefully you can answer this question. But it was.
I'll lie.
If Negan were to somehow enter the supernatural world, who do you think he would kill first? And why?
Mark Shepard just had a picture. Shepard somewhere right now backstage just like, fuck him. Fuck him. Here's my friend.
Hi, Jeffery. I love you.
Oh, thank you. I love you too.
Actually, my question is for my girlfriend that's way up there.
What's up with all the friends not wanting to ask questions?
Carmen can't.
Oh, lottery. Congratulations.
So Carmen is not able to walk down here. And if you could wave and say hi to her.
Yeah, where is she?
She's over there.
Oh, I got it.
Yep.
Hi.
And
you're going to get your question answered.
Carmen's question is, would you rather play a villain or a good guy?
Well, right now I'm in full-on villain mode. And I'm having a blast. You saw what I did there. I almost dropped the F-bomb again. Yeah, I'm locked in right now. I'm in the middle of filming season 7. We're about midway through, so I'm full on villain. That's why I'm not gonna take any shit from people back there saying 10-4. This has been an extraordinary experience being on The Walking Dead this year, and this role in particular is probably the hardest, most fun, kind of all-in-one, don't sleep craziness that I've ever experienced, but it is something. I mean, I can't stress enough that if you were one of those people that were all like, oh, fucking cliffhangers, you're gonna be really wishing that the cliffhanger never ended after you see the first episode back, so be careful what you wish for.
You need to watch it.
Thank you. Villain is the answer, by the way, in case I missed that part of it.
It was bad last season.
Hi. I'm asking this question for my friend Sid. What's the biggest thing you've learned from being on Supernatural?
Let me ask you a question, all of you. So you won a lottery, but nobody had a question that won the lottery? Like you entered to ask a question, and now you're just asking friends questions.
And I'm with someone who's a Supernatural fan.
Oh, and you're not a fan. This is getting better.
Some people.
All right, give me your question.
What's the biggest thing you've learned from being on Supernatural?
The biggest thing I've learned from being on Supernatural, and I learned it immediately in doing it, is that there are actors and people involved in our business that are super awesome people. Believe it or not, that's kind of rare. That's why it's kind of so cool to be part of this and this family. It's a rare thing that you're in a group of people that you want to spend time with, you enjoy each other's company, that are total pros, that are good at what they do. It's just a rare thing, and I think that was very inspiring to me 12 years ago. That these kids, they were friggin' kids then, you know, had their shit together as much as they did, and it so continues. I mean, we sat last night, the three of us, talking until 2 in the morning, and God, they're just awesome dudes, you know. And I think that's the most the important thing that I learned from Supernatural is that there's really great people out there. Yeah.
I love it very much and I enjoy it. I really like, what's it called? I really
movie and like show you've done.
Oh, thank you.
My question is, what like brought you to act into movies and shows?
It was a total accident. I was living in Seattle and I was doing, I made a living, I paid my bills by construction work and painting. And I used to sell paintings at bars that my friends that were musicians were playing at. And those musicians turned out to be like bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains. At that time, we all were like sucking in life. I mean, we couldn't pay bills, and because I had zero musical talent, I remember once my friend put me in his band because I looked cool, and I played the synthesizer, which at that time was a thing. But all I could do was like wind, so I would do the intro of the songs, just and look cool. I did like 3 shows with him, by the way, and I sucked. And so I had a friend at that time in Seattle that was an actor moving down to LA, and so I drove the U-Haul to Los Angeles, figuring I'd be gone, 2 weeks. We just party our asses off. We'd never seen Sunset Boulevard or anything, and I met a casting director who said, you should give this a shot, and I had nothing else going for me, and I'm like, all right. And I got a guy named Roger Corman. He did like 900 movies a year for a budget of like $50. I got a lead in a movie that he was doing, and I played a killer pimp. Yeah, it was awesome. And I didn't know what a mark was, or I didn't know anything. I'd never done anything, and that was kind of my first experience, and I got that movie right away, so I thought, well, this isn't hard. I mean, I just got the lead in the movie. I remember like driving down Hollywood Boulevard with a camera mounted to a convertible Cadillac thinking, this shit I'm gold, man. Let's pick out the house in the Hollywood Hills. Got to 25 years later and I'm fucking wearing the Xindi reptilian mask in Star Trek. Thinking, oh boy, I should have put my eggs in this basket, boy. And that was kind of how it started. And then I went to, there's an acting coach named Howard Fine, and I couldn't afford his classes, so I used to sweep up. And I got kind of an introduction to what acting was supposed to be, and I just loved it. And once you kind of get a taste of it, if it's in your blood, it's in your blood, and that's kind of how it was for me, and that was it. I fell in love with it. Thank God it worked out, because I don't know what I'd be doing right now if it weren't for the fact that Supernatural and Grey's Anatomy popped up finally.
Thank you so much.
You bet. 10-4. Great story, dumbass. Guy thinks he's all tough because he plays fucking Negan. Giving a shit for yelling. See, I don't even need you guys anymore. I heckle myself.
Hi. So, Walking Dead fan as well. And we know working with Jared and Jensen is like working with giant puppies. How does that compare to working with Norm Reedus, who's also a giant puppy?
Yeah. Very similar in their puppyhood. Norman he's like my long-lost little brother. All we do is ride motorcycles. I mean, I have to work sometimes, but when I'm not working, I'm generally ditching my kid and my wife to go on a motorcycle ride somewhere. It's not a good thing. We shouldn't encourage me ditching my wife. But I can't tell you if I work with him or not. You know what I mean? Maybe I work with him. Maybe I haven't. Oh, listen, and the crowd turns. What? That wasn't even a possibility 5 seconds ago in my brain. I told you, if you get through 701, it's gonna be something. Good luck getting through 701. Norman, off camera, is still a big cuddly teddy bear. And he's an awesome dude.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, I can't answer any, direct questions. That was tricky, though.
Hi, I'm Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
I really love Magic City, and I was just wondering if there's a role that you had to say goodbye to that you wish there was more to explore out of your whole career. Which role would that be?
I think Magic City's a good one. I think John Winchester's a good one. Yeah, I've always thought that there was a lot of story that we don't know about John Winchester. And we'll see if we ever get back to it, but you probably know more about one day. You know, every time I come to one of these, someone starts talking about John Winchester, and you gotta remember that I died in season 2, and lots of stuff has been said about him and done, and I'm aware of a little bit of it, but I don't know exactly where John sits right now in the story and what kind of man he was. I still think there's a story to be told there. And for sure. I love playing him, and you know, we're supposed to make a Magic City movie, and I hope that someday we do. Yeah, that'd be a cool way, because I always felt like that rug got ripped out from us way too early. Losers? Yeah, we've talked about Losers before. Yeah, that one hurt too. Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, Clay was a good one. So let's go with those 3. Let's go John Winchester, Losers, and Ike Evans.
Thank you.
I've got a lot of regrets. You go on and on. Why'd that end? Then 4, Morgan, shut the fuck up.
Hi, this is kind of along the same lines as that question. I was wondering if there's any book, movie, or idea that you would like to see developed that you would like to be involved in.
The one off the top of my head was a book, and this is when I was doing Grey's Anatomy, believe it or not. But it wasn't Grey's Anatomy. It was a book called Racing in the Rain. You want to read that? And I lost it in a bidding war to Patrick friggin' Dempsey. I went after the rights to the book, and little did I know that Mr. Race Car Driver did too, and guess who got it? Not the guest star dude. And I've always thought about that book, and I know he's been trying to develop it. It's been in development hell for 10 years, but that book I liked a lot. You'd be amazed. Every once in a while I read a book, or Hillary will read. So Hillary reads tons all the time, and so she's always like, try to get this one, and I'll call my lawyers, and I'll be like, what do you got on this book? And you know, they're all bought up now before they even go to print. It's impossible to find anything these days, because they all get bought up, and they all sit on a shelf for 10 years, and then the rights will eventually come free because they don't make any of them. It's just pure greed by the studio system. No one's recording this, right? Because right now I'm like digging a hole for like the studios and the Good Wife people. I'm just like, 10-4. Is that good enough? I don't know.
Yeah, would you consider writing something yourself? Is there any idea you have that you would want to develop on your own?
I've had ideas a couple times in my life, and then they go away. I've been so busy working. Hillary's the kind of the smart one in my family, and I know she's writing a script right now, and I can't wait to read it, you know. I love her too. So we'll see. We'll see. Yes, if I stop working for more than like a week, I would love to like write a book or a script. Thanks, me too. Someday.
Hi.
Hey.
Before my question, I want to give a shout out to my friend Gabby, because she's
Gabby!
extremely jealous that I'm up here. And she wants me to tell you that she loves you very much.
I love you too. Is she here?
Yeah, she's over there, like standing up.
Oh, it's my Watchmen girl, it's Silk Spectre. Love Gabby.
If you could play any other character in Supernatural besides John Winchester, who would you play?
Oh, I'd be Dean. I love Dean Winchester. He's a boy after his father's heart. I mean, they're both great characters. I don't know, Mark Shepard's got a fun role, and so does Misha. Those are all kind of good roles. But I think they're so good because those guys fleshed them out. So maybe they wouldn't be as good if I tried to do them. But in watching, my first reaction would be Dean Winchester, because I think there's a certain kind of charisma and sense of humor that guy brings to stuff that is awesome. I don't think I could do it as good as him, but...
Quick question, how did you get your cameo role as Bruce Willis's dad in the Batman movie?
Bruce Wayne?
Bruce Wayne, I'm sorry.
I was putting that all together as you were saying. I'm like, Bruce Willis's dad? I don't even remember doing that role. I gotta stop drinking. Zack Snyder called me and said, hey, he called me like a year before they even started the movie, and he goes, I got a role for you that I want you to do when you do it. And I'm like, what's the role? And he goes, I'm not gonna tell you. And I said, okay, I'll do it. I love Zack. He directed me in Watchmen, and yeah, thank you. And just a cool dude. He's just one of those guys that if he ever calls and I'm available, I'm gonna do whatever he wants. So, you know, I got to be Ben Affleck's dad. Bruce Wayne's father. Yeah, that's it. I had to do the math on that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, cool, you're welcome. Bruce Willis. I can imagine he'd be like, yeah, you look old enough to be my dad. This works for me.
Hey, hot stuff, how's it going?
It's going good. How's it going with you?
Good. I just want to know, who do you think would win in a fight? John Winchester, the comedian, or Negan?
Wait, the comedian was a force to be reckoned with, and John Winchester, I wouldn't want to fuck with him either, but yeah, I think it's Negan. I just think that he's a badass. My kid even's like, that guy's a badass. He knows it's like me, but he's just like, that guy. That guy's a badass. And he's like, call me little badass. I'm not kidding you, by the way. I call my son little badass. L-I-L, badass. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Negan. Just because I'm doing it right now, and the more I get to know Negan, the scarier he is to me.
Uh-oh.
If that makes sense. Yeah, he's a lot. He's a lot. I wouldn't fuck with him.
Oh god.
10-4, Jeff. Is it time for Jared Jensen yet? For fuck's sake. Fucking love you too.
So many of the actors in the supernatural community support nonprofits and are very vocal in their advocacy of various causes. Could you tell us a little bit about some of the issues or causes that you're passionate about?
I'm gonna be like the big dork that doesn't do anything good for anybody. Hillary and I are involved in a couple things right now. One is kind of up where we live. There's a hospital for mentally ill kids that we've been very active in trying to get some money for because it's just in really, really bad shape. And that happens to be something we're kind of doing right in the middle of it right now. And then I've always done stuff for animals. I've always been like, I love you folks, but I'm much more an animal person than I am a people person. I love that you guys all cheer that on. Yeah, so I've had charities, you know, saving dogs and cats, and I rescue animals, and you know, we have a farm now, and we rescue animals and that. So we've got a no-kill farm. So we've got all sorts of stuff. So that's the charity I should start, Jeff's No-Kill Farm, because it's making me broke. But yeah, the hospital, and you know, every year I try to help one of my friends that usually's got like legit things going on, and kind of focus on that. So every year I try to do something different. But you know, right now we're trying to keep kind of our home in good shape, as far as where we live, and this hospital is kind of a big part of that. So if we can help those kids have a decent place to live. Hey.
I got sort of an odd question for you.
Shoot the moon.
I'm just wondering what your beliefs are on the paranormal, if any.
It depends on what day you catch me. Like if I'm sleeping in a haunted house, I think it's real. I've never been a huge believer, but that's only because I've never had like really crazy stuff happen to me. My wife is a massive, huge believer. Like we go somewhere out of town and she wants to go on like ghost tours and stuff. I think it's weird. My kid's eyes get this big, and I'm the one that's up with him in the middle of the night when he's like, ah! Yeah, talk to your mother. It's probably not a great answer, but you know, we've talked about this before, like Dybbuk box and stuff, and I'm like, I poo-poo it all until someone like wants to bring me the Dybbuk box. I'm like, no. I don't want to test it. But I watch all those shows about, you know, UFOs and ghosts and like ghost hunting. Never seen one. I keep waiting to find Sasquatch too. Where's that dude? Canada? I believe you. I'm from the Pacific Northwest. When I grew up, apparently, you know, Bigfoot lived in my backyard, and I looked daily. But my wife, again, is a big Bigfoot believer, and so me and her dad carved wooden Bigfoot feet. Like, in great detail, that were, you know, they were probably 18 inches big, and we live up in the middle of nowhere in New York, and so me and her brother would strap them to our feet and run around through the woods, and Hillary would go into town, in this little town we lived in, and like go into the whatever store and be like, there's fucking big feet here. There's big feet. And she'd be like, Jeff, I gotta call the newspaper, the local news, and we gotta call the cops. So finally I had to say, it was me. Matter of fact, I think she found out that it was me doing a talk show. I was doing the Jay Leno show, and I brought a picture of the feet and was like, sorry, honey. She didn't talk to me for a while. That didn't go well.
Hi, I'm Jason.
Wow, is that your face hitting the mic?
I was going down and the mic was coming up and it was like, hey.
Wow.
I'm Riley.
You caught that, right, 10-4?
You're great. I love you. And I love your kid role on Loser. I'm sorry, you're just really close and it's making me really But I loved your role on The Losers, and I was wondering what it was like working with Chris Evans, and would you ever do a Marvel movie, if offered?
Chris Evans is awesome. He's a super cool dude and funny as all get out. And I mean, really, that was one of the better times I've ever had making a movie. It was just, you know, dudes running around being crazy. I mean, that's what it was. The movie and off camera is all kind of the same. It was a blur for me. Would I do a Marvel movie? Yeah, except for, my problem is I'm sort of locked into this DC thing. I keep doing Losers was DC, Watchmen was DC, Batman, Superman, that was DC. So I don't know if Marvel would ever touch me, but maybe they would. At Comic-Con, I always run into like somebody from Marvel who's like, oh, don't worry, we're gonna get you something. That's kind of what they say at Comic-Con, but yeah. So we'll see, maybe, yeah.
So?
I'd like to do like the villain in Ant-Man, so I can go kick Rudd's ass. I could be like the honeybee. You're welcome.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Okay, so my question is, you go from playing like TV's heartthrob and Grace to the father figure in Supernatural to like TV's most anticipated villain in The Walking Dead. What is your, what would be your favorite role to play as far as that goes?
Well, the one I'm doing, because I'm doing it right now, but when I was doing Grey's Anatomy, there was nothing better. When I was on the set doing John Winchester, there was nothing better. But by the way, those are 3 examples of shows that would be in like my top 3 of like all the shows I've done. If you said, oh God, I can't really try, I've already dissed on so much stuff. But there's other roles that I would just leave out of the conversation, as we're doing right now. Well, we answered this earlier. Right now, I'm all about villains.
All about villains?
Yeah, I'm all about villain and Negan, certainly right now.
It was a long wait this season for you to come up on Walking Dead.
It was a long wait, but the wait's almost over, and then you're gonna be like, oh man, I hate that guy. I hope not, but I'm prepared. I'm prepared for people to freak the fuck out and not like me. It might happen. It might happen. I'm not even trying to like overplay it. You guys may freaking hate me when it's all said and done. You might. You say no. Hey, will you guys all do me a favor? Here's what I want to do. My time's almost up. We're gonna take a. I just joined Twitter. Very fucking exciting. I'm gonna do 2 tweets. Like one I did last night, and one's gonna be right now, but we're all going to flip off Norman Reedus. It's gonna be great. And I'm gonna tweet it. But look, I made him a sign saying, we all say hi, Norman. All right, people, give him the finger for Norman.